Space. The final frontier. You know, we don't exactly go up there often, so who knows what kind of stuff we're gonna see in the future? Who knows what kind of stuff is up there? We're talking like space aliens or something, or maybe that one planet that's backwards. You know, maybe we can find that one. Or maybe we'll even find George Clooney. I mean, that's what happened in Gravity with Sandra Bullock. He just went off into space. I don't even think that was scripted. I reckon he's still out there. And I love space so much. I wish I could just go on a quest to space.
I'm doing a space quest. It's hard to believe that even though I love point and clicks, I've never actually covered a Space Quest game on this channel. So I thought, hey, let's cover the last Space Quest. Space Quest 6. The Spinal Frontier. Yeah, they went there.
Space Quest is a comedic sci-fi series that began in 1986 with the Saurian encounter, and overall 6 Space Quest games were made, each of them having their own unique feel. Space Quest 6 was released in 1995 and isn't really considered to be the best in the series. This game uses animations in the vein of King's Quest 7 and Torrens Passage, as opposed to the sprites used in Space Quest 4 and 5.
See, I haven't actually played much of Space Quest 6, so I don't actually know how good it is. Is it an underrated gem, or is it a disappointing end to the series? Let's find out.
So we begin at some kind of court-martial for Roger Wilco, the protagonist, after the events of Space Quest 5. Where, I guess he kinda did something heroic. For shame, Roger.
Do you have anything to say for yourself before we pronounce sentence?
Can't you guys take a joke?
Do you have anything intelligent to say for yourself before we pronounce sentence?
They strip him down completely for some reason and reduce him to the rank of janitor. And if you're a Space Quest fan, you know that's how he started out in the first place. And then there's a shot of his underwear changing into this spaceship. It's masterful cinematography. Then Commander Kielbasa, whose name is a clear play on the Kilrathi from the Wing Commander series, thanks everyone on board for their recent successes.
So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you.
And yeah, he's meant to sound like Picard. There is a lot of Star Trek in this, basically. Also, not sure if this guy is an alien, but his neck is nearly doing a full 180 here.
A full-on Exorcist twist, if you catch my drift.
And because everybody has done such a good job, Kielbasa awards them with some shore leave on Polyorbate 60, aka generic sci-fi planet name. Next you'll be telling me there's a planet called Delta Berxilon 5 or something.
Delta Berxilon 5.
Oh. And we are also introduced to our main villain here, Sharpay. And she, she's voiced by the same actress who does Valanice in King's Quest 7.
I believe you'll find him here, on Polyorbate 60. I'm getting awfully tired of this. So long as his body is intact.
Hey up, love.
As Roger gets beamed down at the planet, he gets embedded in the floor because it's Roger Wilco. This kind of stuff just happens to him. And not a single person or thing here is like, oh my god, that person's stuck in the floor. They just don't care. But should they? It's not their problem. Is a robot not entitled to stroll? Apparently not, because the robots are actually our way out of here. That was just rude, Roger. And from here we explore Polyorbate 60, which is basically only a few screens. There's an arcade, a bar, an inn, and a couple of shops, including this guy.
Ugh, okay, I'm going.
So we enter the arcade and we meet this guy who is grinding his teeth really hard. His name is Jerkwad and he challenges you to a game of Stooge Fighter, and you can't beat him right now, so there's no point trying. And if you're wondering, yes, it is a Three Stooges Street Fighter hybrid.
Because of course it is.
So what else is there to do here? There's no real aim, so you kind of just have to walk around and wait for things to happen. A photo booth turns up at one point, and with the one Bookazoid we have, we can get a photo of Roger, which fits perfectly over the ID we get from a bicycle. Also, this photo booth kinda eats this guy, and yep, that definitely taps into a childhood fear of mine. Anyway, we'll need that ID later, but first we need to find a guy in a trench coat who is apparently looking for an ender droid who is hanging out in the basement of a bar. Well, it shouldn't be too difficult to take him down, right? We did kick down the door after all, so we're probably a bad enough dude to take this guy on.
You go now and I don't rearrange your organs.
Oh yeah, tough guy. Oh no, it was just a prank, bro.
Yeah, that's a great improvement. Look much better now.
Oh yeah, there are deaths in this game, of course. Many wacky, weird, disturbing deaths. Although to be honest, nothing is ever as disturbing as the Space Quest 3 deaths.
Nothing like a good comedy game to lighten the mood, eh?
Although much like King's Quest 7 and Dragon's Sphere, the deaths in Space Quest 6 are completely meaningless because of the ability to instantly try again. So basically it reduces the death scenes to nothing more than a bit of fun. You're actually allowed to be careless now, and I'm not sure if I like that. So this guy is a Terminator. I mean, there's no two ways about it. I mean, just listen to the accent.
Yeah, that's a great improvement. Look much better now.
But our friend implies that he's liquid, much like the T-1000 in Terminator 2. And if we cast our minds back, what was one of the ways in which Robert Patrick was stopped in his tracks?
Hasta la vista, baby.
Ah yes, freezing him. And luckily some guys in the upstairs of the bar are basically inhaling what I think is nitrogen. Perfect. We scare them up with our fake security card and then we hook up the nitrogen to a nearby pipe. Oh, and there's also some tubing here that we need. So then we distract the bartender by asking him to make a complicated drink, and after this you can break off a pipe that leads to the basement and the tubing can link up these two areas. So then, once we turn on the nitrogen, we can head back down and fake Arnie over here is frozen solid. So then we can smash him into little ice cubes, like exact cubes for some reason, put him in an ice tray and deliver him to the trenchcoat guy for the reward of 50 whole Buckazoids. And, as it happens, we need those Buckazoids to buy alcohol for a drunk guy who then gives us a cheat sheet for Stooge Fighter 3.
You see, it all comes full circle. I mean, all you have to do to be good at video games is apprehend a killer android. Easy.
The entire puzzle here hinges on your knowledge of popular culture though. If you don't work out that the android is like the T-1000 from Terminator 2, you might not connect him to the nitrogen. While it's cool, I don't necessarily think it constitutes good puzzle design. And the pop culture references here are a little bit more prominent than before, I think.
It's one of those Bjorn guys. It's so cute when they talk about assimilating everyone.
Don't get me wrong, pop culture references aren't bad. I mean, I use them a lot, but they can't be your only avenue for humour. All the Space Quest games had moments that were funny in their own right, but this one definitely feels more flat to me. It's not the worst adventure game I've ever played, but it pales in comparison to its predecessors. You see, this game was designed by Josh Mandel as opposed to Mark Crow and Scott Murphy, even though Scott Murphy was involved at one point. And the difference in style is completely palpable here. No hard feelings to Josh Mandel, of course. I mean, he was the voice of King Graham in King's Quest 5. But the two guys from Andromeda or even Dynamics make a better Space Quest in my opinion. Anyway, we return to the arcade and give Jerkwad a rematch. And with our cheats, we win. We basically get given a secret attack that is incredibly OP and we destroy. I'm not sure what the attack is supposed to be, but whatever.
How lucky can a guy get? That was pure luck, jeez!
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear you over all that salt.
This guy acts like your average Counter-Strike tryhard. You could probably use his voice lines in CSGO and it'd be virtually indistinguishable from the average player.
That was pure luck, jeez!
So because of a bet, we win 300 Buckazoids from Jerkwad and we then use that to fund a room at the local inn. And well, this guy's the best.
Anyway, enjoy your stay. If you need anything, don't hesitate to tell someone.
This guy's my spirit animal.
However, on the way to Roger's room, a couple of big guys capture Roger because I think they work for the main villain. Although I didn't necessarily realise this at first and I thought they were just being racist or something. So they handcuff you, which doesn't really last long, and... pelvis? Really? We're going down that route? Okay, the first guy isn't really difficult to take down. I mean, I couldn't actually find any way to alert him, so there's barely any danger here. And the guy in the next room doesn't care either.
Well, the worm is out of the hole. So?
He's completely unconcerned for no reason. I don't get it. But then we give him this so-called burlesque chip for his head computer, and this happens.
Thinking it was the churlish Muddy, he pops it in place.
I would rather have had a violent death scene here, but not even that's an escape now.
And you need to fix up this remote, and you can only do that with the manual that the game comes with, because they didn't have time to put the actual solution in the game. This isn't the only time there's a puzzle like this, by the way. After sending out a distress signal, you're rescued by Stella Santiago, who is meant to be a Klingon, I guess. Although she ends up just looking stressed all the time.
I protest, I am not a merry man!
Also, she's supposed to be like a love interest of sorts for Roger, but technically Roger already had a love interest and a son from the future with someone else. This is kind of awkward. So here we are on the deep ship 86, and we do some lab stuff with an incredibly gross grooming kit we took from the goon from earlier, and I can't look at it.
Listen, I've played a lot of point and clicks, but that is the most disgusting adventure game item I've ever seen.
While on the ship, you get an assignment directly from Kielbasa, where Roger has to clean up some old lady's room. But actually, this old lady is the villain, and she tried to have Roger murdered with gas. Luckily, Stella once again steps in to save Roger, but unfortunately, she can't save herself.
Stella!
Ha! So then we attend a funeral in a Space Quest game. I can't believe it. It's the Cemetery Watchman from Gabriel Knight. Yeah, I love that game. Okay, yeah, so Roger is sad. It's a weird tonal shift, but then it isn't because Stella isn't dead and Roger gets a message from her.
Roger, help me. I only have a moment. They faked.
Stellar, what happened? The picture's gone. You're alive?
Roger tries his best to tell Kielbasa, who, well, I mean, he's got other things in his mind. So it's up to Roger to save Stella, and this is the plot for the rest of the game. And if the Star Confederation isn't with me,
then you're my enemy.
You know, I honestly feel like the puzzles get quite obscure from here. You need to learn a Vulcan death crypt because, well, hey, wacky references, am I right? And apparently they have to say dialogue from Tango and Cash while they do it? What?
Oh, Tango-san, maybe you can fetch me up with your sister. I have told you after her, and we're gonna have margaritas together. Oh, let's hope let's get we have fun. Oh, get a hubba hubba.
I mean, our main goal here is to get past these two guards who are guarding the ship bay, and the death grip thing is useful for taking down the smaller guard.
Ooh, boy, I got you with my fingers in your Kurt Russell. Now you can't get away. I got you now that you've got a hard to believe this is a real job. Oh.
But the bigger guy isn't so easy to get past, and he puts you in the brig. And to escape the brig, you turn this buffet of fruit into a human-shaped thing, which tricks the guard somehow? I honestly thought I'd have to create the shape and hide it under the bed sheets. But no, this fruit Roger is perfectly acceptable. You can just sit here and that's the solution. And we can then escape using the fruit trolley, and then we can just go anywhere. And nobody cares. There aren't any consequences for what we did. We escaped the brig. We escaped the brig. The only other thing in there is a flesh-eating monster. Surely other people must have heard that Roger was in there for attacking other members of the crew. Even the guy who you knocked out can see him and not care about it. This is incredibly nonsensical design here. They're not concerned that the guy that attacked them out of nowhere is free. So basically, to get past both of them at once, you use a drugged donut to knock out the big guy, and I mean, this happens for some reason. And then we can easily do the death grip a second time on the smaller guard. I mean, does he even care? Does he just want to accept this? You know, the first attempt at this should have resulted in a death. The whole brig area is just unnecessary padding with bad puzzles. Now we have the challenge of getting through the door. Both buttons need to be pressed at the same time, but Roger doesn't have long enough arms. Or any friends. So then we borrow an arm off an android, and he just gives it up. He doesn't ask for any favours, he's just like, hey, sure, just give it back, okay?
Poor guy doesn't know he's in an adventure game.
And we also take one of his eyes to use a retinal scanner on a shuttle. Is everybody here painfully stupid? It seems like the only person with half a brain is Roger, but they tried to paint Roger as the stupid one. You know, I'm starting to think he's just a scapegoat. And after that, there's a complicated process to start a ship, which, I mean, that's some classic Space Quest, honestly. It's got its own little charm. Roger escapes with the help of the hologram manual override, and no, it's not Manuel, because that would have made the joke actually a little bit funnier.
Don't apologize to me, it's the players you ruined it for.
Ha!
If it's not immediately obvious, I'm not really retaining much interest in this Space Quest. It has some fun moments, and the late great Gary Owen shines as the narrator.
Wow, the static energy you built up discharged, frying Lard Boy's circuitry. Did you actually think of that, or was it just luck?
But ultimately, I can see why this is often considered the lesser of the Space Quest games. The humour relies too heavily on references and crass jokes rather than having the sharp weight of previous titles, the puzzles are a little too obscure here to be fun in my opinion, and I don't care enough about the plot to continue. After Space Quest 5, which is my personal favourite of the series, I really consider this one to be a bit of a letdown. No ill will to Josh Mandel of course, I just didn't enjoy this game as much as the others. It is graphically nice and I love the interface, and I really love the personality that Roger's walk cycle has in this one. So in terms of presentation it's good, but in a lot of the other departments, for me, it falls short.
But I do wonder, how does this game end?
I must say, Roger, there's not a man in the universe who knows me inside the way you do.